Toons, cool tunes, and even the power of the other FTK. Make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more kind of, I have loved watching how much tunes have been innovated. Now that dear old Papa Norden's back, evidently this is just a card that we're going to get to cheese into this list just to be able to do things. But I see we've gotten into some funny little things here. We're now using the Dark Rebellion as a mode change option to make Ophion to floodgate out the opponent. We have access to the Masquerade for the reveal to go down Rizal combo for this. Isn't it cheeky just to see, the ideas that the Toon players are doing? Now, you're going to notice there's no Toon Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in here. We've basically foregone all access into that package. And not like in a bad, we don't need access to it, but it's just the idea of what they're trying to do here with the Toon stuff is just, Funny Bunny's just going to generate us access into things. We're looking to just use the minimalistic Toon package to kind of control the opponent and do its thing. It's almost like, and this is a crazy concept to say, maybe this is more of a rank 4 turbo kind of option toolbox to kind of get things set up just to be able to, do its thing. And it looks to be the case. Toons, this deck has really just got the most viably cool options of any deck. And I think as the OCG develops their card pool with this kind of going forward, I think you're going to see this deck continue to be a scary option. And obviously, with the 4 to 5 still viable FTKs post the list, you're going to continue to kind of see people go towards that. Also, yep, Shifter. Isn't it amazing just how much BS you can shove into one deck? Next up, we get to see Kewl Tune. Now, the OCG figured out one of the funniest things. Rotary is a level 1 tuner monster. Let's go on up here to this guy really quick. We can discard this card to add a light level 1 tuner monster from your deck to your hand. They figured it out. They figured out that, like with Duelist Genesis, that, the TCG was testing out, what if we just patch our problems with another searcher? Rotary's at, a less number. Pff, that's fine. No, I got 4 rotaries in my deck. It happens, man. This is, I guess, good job to Konami for limiting Rotary and its capabilities, because this card was very broken. You also hit the Kewl Tune Synchro, even though, this is a card you can activate up to twice per turn. So, now you only have the 2 copies. So you've kind of lost that insulation from the third. But in terms of consistency blowouts, I mean, losing the Rotary, losing this, and then, I guess you take the 3 cards out and you just patch in 3 Deep Eyes White Dragon. You're basically fully able to still play the deck. I do hope that maybe this isn't going to be the most optimized Kewl Tune variant, but I think, especially looking through some of the lists that people are cooking up already, I've seen lists that are just playing 2 to 3 of this. I think that this is an acceptable option. It just stinks that, like, if you open this and it gets ashed, well, shit, what are you really supposed to do if your opponent actually has the cutoff to this? It's kind of the result of the format, right? Ash Blossom gets you destroyed. You don't have a Call by the Grave. Maybe Crossout might be an option to consider, but okay. Next up here, boy, the FTK. So, for all intents and purposes, all we have to do is just find a way to recycle this card. And one of the things that I saw people talking about was, what if we, play like something like Cyframe Omega to loop it back or something? I mean, it is an option in terms of, what we can do, but as long as you can find a recyclable means to get to this, you should be able to still do the FTK. Honestly, putting Supreme King, I made a video talking about that I was kind of cool with this card coming back to 1, but looking at the OCG playing something like frickin' Mudora now as something along the way. Yes, by the way, this is a fairy monster. So depending on, you know, where we're going in the combo here, you are going to get some different little ways to get to things. I do also see that we are playing the Nightmare Throne in here, getting access to a Fiend monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. Oh boy. Which automatically gets you access into Rage here. Rage has been a problem for a little while in the developments of these lists. He's been doing very, very well. Now, for those of you that don't know the FTK, all you do is you got to get access to this to drop the Independent Nightingale from the deck, and then stop by Starving Venom once, and then get Mudora into play to re-loop this back, make the second copy of this, and voila, you have the second win off of the Nightingale. It is cheesy, and it just got second place at a YCS in Japan, so they had to do something about this. Next up, finally, something a little bit more down to earth. You know, we actually get to see the incredibly, I guess, consistent tools that the Elf Note deck has. Right now, Elf Note's being predicted to be one of the better meta challengers within the room. And not in, like, a terrible sense of things. It's because they have this card. Well, first of all, this deck lost nothing. You know, they didn't hit the Terminus Gate on the ban list in any sort of limitation, because they want this card to still stick around, because it's an enabler for 3 different decks. So that's fine. But now Elf Note, now that, you know, the format's kind of shifted around, Kewl Tune's been kind of dropped down a little bit. Now the next Synchro deck gets to rush ahead. So June probably gives you the ability to bring out 3 different monsters, which is already insanely crazy and consistent. But also, I don't feel like we give enough credit to Infernal Strike Fighter. This is a card that we'll be getting with Halki Fibrax later on this year. But the thing says, during the main phase, you can destroy as many face-up monsters on the field as possible, and if you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original level of those destroyed monsters. And if this card is destroyed by a card effect, we can technically target a level 5 or lower machine monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. I don't really care about that. I care that this is a main phase 2, clear up an entire field. That means that, you know, it's also during the main phase 2. If you make this and your opponent doesn't deal with this, they go into main phase 2, you just get a free board wipe for no reason. Tell me how that's fair. Tell me why we have something like that as an option, because it's very, very good. But in terms of, you know, options, this deck still does the same thing. It still sets up the brokenness of these. You also notice they've kind of cut back on some of the fat here. You're playing 5 spells and traps in this deck. The rest of this is just going to be gas for the monsters to get set up. Isn't that impressive? Next up here, we get to see, this is the Synchro Emergency pile, as we're calling it. The Synchro Emergency pile, it never really gets old looking at these lists, because if you open up Synchro Emergency, you feel like just the best duelist in the world, because you basically just get to make a giant combo on your opponent, and there's not really a lot that they can do about it. It's almost kind of impressive on how broken Synchro Emergency kind of is, in being able to kind of set up and go, you know, in those initial forms. Also, Steam Synchron has been pretty much a mandatory piece within these lists, because he's going to be one of the ones that you'll be able to do the Synchro jump with in passive on those additional turns, because, you know, you're only going to get one Synchro here, but Steam Boy plus, you know, whatever extra combo pieces you can get is going to be able to help you out. Also, you do see Triple Junkmeister. This was a card I told you guys to pick up, because looking at how these lists have been going with developments in the future, Junkmeister is a mandatory 3 of in this deck. He is one of the best pieces just to really get this deck started. And I'm really looking forward to seeing here in the future how much Junkmeister and Friends is really going to be able to pivot, you know, the developments of this deck. I know we're a ways off from getting Synchro Emergency, but I cannot wait to see where this card is going to shape up things. So OCG is still developing things. We're just getting to see the beginning of the tech trends right now. But please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here and dig at. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.